Yo, what's up guys, Genius X here, and today, big announcement for my channel. I joined another league that is created by Brandon, aka Sunderfight. If you don't know me, you should have checked my other battle on my channel, where we won against him 1-0 in ISL, but he decided to create a league and I joined, and basically this is a draft analysis, and I am the coach of the San Francisco Star Raptors, so we are planning to go for the champion. So, as you can see, you have the first 6 months of my draft laid out in front of you. The draft style is very similar to GBA style, so pretty much points related, and then one tier one. The tiers are decided by Brandon himself, I believe. So I actually didn't get signed a single time this whole draft, which I was really happy with. So let's just get straight into the draft. So the first one I originally wanted to draft was Mega Metagross, and it turns out that monster was banned from this league, so I resorted with Mega Scizor instead. Now Mega Scizor is definitely one of my favorite OU mons, and I'm happy that I drafted it, so anyways, it has extremely good defense, extremely good attack, special defense is not bad, speed is a bit lacking, but definitely not bad, and we don't really need special attack for anything else. Ability is incredible, and this thing is just a solid mon overall, except for the fact that it's weak to fire. So, the main core that I wanted to build around was the Dragon Steel Fairy core, and the mons that I decided to build around was Scizor, Latias, and Azumarill, as you can see here. So, Scizor's, this core already compensates itself really well, with Latias being able to healing which one of the two mons back together, and Scizor only weakness is fire, which is resisted by both Latias and Azumarill. It's also weak to water, which can be dealt by Latias and Azumarill again. Latias is weak to dark, which can be dealt by Scizor and Azumarill. Latias is also weak to dragon and ice, which is dealt by both Scizor and Azumarill. So Azumarill is weak to electric, which is dealt by Latias, and Azumarill is also weak to somewhat weak to steel types. It's neutral, but like it can't do much to steel types, so I'm gonna say that counts as a weakness. And Scizor can pretty reliably check that, and Latias also has HP Fire. Azumarill also weak to grass type, which is checked by both Scizor and Latias. So this core is already like incredibly good that I'm able to draft in this draft league. So I'm incredibly happy with this core. Now let's move on to my individual analysis for my Pokemon. So Scizor, like I said, overall extremely solid mon. Technician is great. I can run SD, it can be a pivot and run U-turn, it can be sweeper with bullet punch and SD, it can run bug bite, it can run aerial ace if you want, it can run agility, source dance, double dance set, it has defog, it has pursuit, it has roost, it has superpower, it has tailwind, it has counter. Counter is something I can definitely see myself using, and yeah, I can even run Metal Claw if I want. And like I said, its stats are just extremely solid overall. And yeah, so that is basically the first one of my team, Mega Scizor, and which is basically my Mega Slot. So the second one, like I said, is Latias. Now Latias is another mon with extreme diverse move pool and is extremely good mon for a draft league. Latios is probably better, but got sniped by Sand. By the way, Sand is also in this league, which is he is also in ISL if you don't know. Um, Now Latias can run many sets. Defog is probably its main set. I chose Latias because it's probably the most reliable defogger in the whole league. Probably. I don't know what other defogger that's more reliable. Don't quote me on that, but I believe it is. It can run Calm Mind, it can run Draco Meteor, Psyshock, Energy Roll, Earthquake, Hidden Powers, it can run Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, it can run Physical with Zen Headbutt or Dragon Claw, it can run Reflect Deck, Dual Screens, Recover, Shadow Claw, Shadow Ball, Substitute, Toxic, Thunderwave, Tailwind, extreme diverse moveset, very great for Draft League. Special defense is extremely good, paired up with amazing physical defense by Scizor. Form a really good balance score, and in ISL, I tend to lean forward for the offensive type of draft, but for this draft, I lean more towards the balance type of draft because balance is definitely the most dominant draft league playstyles, which in my opinion. So the last one of the core that I wanted to build around in was Azumarill. So Azumarill Stats not that great, but huge power definitely boosts that attack stat to a solid number. I don't know the exact. I'm pretty sure it's between 140 and 150. Don't quote me on that. Why does he have 0 IVs in attack? I have no idea why that is. So he can run many sets: Assault Vest, Choice Band, Leftovers, Lumberry, Citrus Berry. It and it doesn't always have to run huge power. It can run Sap Sipper for mons such as Superior. It can run Sick Fat, and its moveset is so diverse. Aquajet, Wordful, Belly Drum, knockoff, superpower, play rough. It can run whirlpool, perish song, trapping. Uh, it can run power punch, scald, substitute. It can run defensive and offensive. It's not that diverse as Scizor or Latias, but it's overall a very cool mon, and I'm extremely happy that I got to draft all three of them. It's probably my main monster I'm gonna bring this league. So next mon we have is Mamoswine. Mamoswine, great mon. Electric resist, strong ground stab, priority, and my main stealth rock setter. So this mon is pretty much perfect for my team because it has Ice Shard, priority, along with Scissors Bullet Punch, along with Aquajet. My team is not fast at all. So any priority is greatly appreciated. It's strong ground stab. It resists fast electrics. It's such a good mon. It also extremely diverse. Most of the time I'll probably be running Sick Fat, but I can run Oblivious to counter Taunt, so I can set up rocks. I can run Life Orb, Choice Scarf, Leftovers. At this rate, I'm just repeating myself. It can run Lumberry. It can also run Freeze Drive for Gyarados. It can run Knockoff. It can run Stone Edge, Superpower. Sorry about that. Its attack stat is also great. Its speed is not that bad. Its HP is actually really good. But this is going to be my main rocker for the league, so I'm also extremely happy that I got to draft this mon. So the next mon we have is Volcarona. Volcarona, surprisingly tier 2. I think it deserves a tier 1, especially because monsters such as Infernape is tier 1. But Volcarona is such a good mon. And when I mean this, I mean such a good mon. Because you can't prepare for it. Once it curve dances up, it has enough coverage to pretty much deal with the whole metagame. Giga Drain, Hidden Power, Fire Blast, Bug Buzz, Roost. It can run defensive with Will-O-Wisp. It can run a lot of hidden powers. It can run... I believe it learns Hurricane, if I'm wrong. No, I'm not wrong. It learns Hurricane. So really diverse moveset, actually. It looks like a Calm Mind. Fury Dance. So, and special attack is also incredible. Speed is actually pretty good. And with one Quiver Dance, it can outspeed the majority of the non-Scarf meta, which is extremely nice. And basically, it's just my main sweeper of the team other than Scizor. And even though it has a huge stealth rock weakness, I have the most reliable defogger in the whole of the draft, so I think that should be fine. So the next one I draft is tier 4, not tier 3, but I drafted this mon before all my other tier 3 mons, which is Kofag. Now Kofag is a ghost type. Ghost equals fighting resist, except for Mega Lopunny, but we'll get to that later. And Mummy. Boom. Defensive tank, along with Scizor. You're not breaking my team. So, Cofagrigus is such an amazing fighting type counter with its great defensive capabilities along with uh, a decent special attack and decent special defense. It can wall a lot of stuff hard. And when I say hard, I mean hard. So, it also has an extremely diverse moveset for those of you. It has Calm Mind, Dark Pulse, Destiny Bond, Disable, Energy Ball, Hex, Will-O-Wisp, Knockoff, Magic Coat, Memento, Nasty Plot, Trick Room, Rest, Psychic, Shadow Ball, Toxic Spikes, Trick Will-O-Wisp, and like I said, it's just an extremely solid mon, a solid defensive wall, which I can offensive temp Cofagrigus is also a thing, so this and I'm so glad that I got to draft these 6 months that like I'm pretty sure I can pretty much surpass any team in this league with just these 6 months alone. But let's move on to our next 5 months here. And the first one I drafted was not Mega, Manectric, normal. I wanted a fast electric type, and electric was the perfect pick. As Flamethrower, Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, HP Ice. Even though its coverage is fairly standard, it's still a good Mon. Like, it's still a great Mon. It's fast, special attack is good, and its coverage can also cover for everything, like almost everything. So it also has the ability Static, which can actually be extremely useful coming on to like physical electric type attacks to paralyze them. And Lightning Rod is pretty much my main electric resist off this team, which is paired extremely well with Azumarill. So it can also run Choice Scarf, Choice Specs, Life Orb, and yeah, it also runs Signal Beam, which is something. So next one we have is Tornadus, our main prankster user, and his abilities I really like. Probably two of my favorite abilities ever, Prankster and Defiant. So this thing can run LO, it can run no item uh, acrobatics, it can run a lot of different varieties. So like I said, the mons that I drafted in this league have a lot of different movesets, except for probably like Manectric. So Tornadus, just look at this diverse moveset. Like, nothing can expect what it's going to bring. So, Power Herb Fly, for an instance. So, and this thing also has incredible speed stat with special attack. I don't know why it's in BL2. Probably because it doesn't secure a lot of KOs. But it's a great defog, a defog scarer, and Prankster can be useful, but I don't think it actually learns a lot of status or priority non-damaging moves. So we'll see about that. Next one we have is Chestnut. Chestnut, another defensive tank. But the reason I wanted to draft this is because it also has offensive capabilities. BD Chestnut is one of my favorite Chestnut sets. I'm probably gonna use it once, and it's such a good mon. Spiky Shield, Leech Seed, and it's also my Spiker, which is incredible. And look at this diverse moveset. So, uh, Belly Drum, Drain Punch, Seed Bomb with Sadak Berry. I'm definitely gonna run that one day. So, and I don't want to spoil too much about my sets, but like I said, Chestnut has great defense, great attack, great HP. Its moveset is very varied, and it has a lot of stuff under its belt. And most importantly, it's a fighting type, which I can use, and a defensive check that is not weak to what do you call it? That is not weak to Ghost, because physical Ghost type moves can really strengthen Kofag and Scizor a lot. So last two mons, Claydol and Cacturne. Now Claydol is my rapid spinner of this team. The only hazard remove I have on this team so far is Defog, so I wanted the rapid spinner, and Claydol was my choice. It has a great ability in Levitate. I have a lot of ground resist, which is extremely nice for a draft league. It also has support a diverse moveset with yeah, I believe that is it. Like, I think that is all for this draft analysis. Now Cacturne is a mon I drafted last second because I don't know what to draft. I wanted the dark type, so I drafted Cacturne. It also learned Sucker Punch, Sand Veil, and Ward Absorb, which is the main reason I drafted this. So that's pretty much the reason I drafted Cacturne. I might switch it out or trade it away this season. Who knows? But as of so far, I don't have anything to say about Cacturne. So I think that's going to be it for this draft analysis. Really excited for the this upcoming CBL. So hope you all enjoyed this draft analysis, and I'm going to be posting my week 1 battles in a few hours or so. So, oh, by the way, I'm not going to be posting my team builders for this draft because team builders are way too hard to record. You can't find anything to say at all, and they just drag along with me repeating stuff over and over again. So, I'm not going to be recording team builders. I'm only going to be recording battles. You probably already saw my week 1 team when I was explaining the sets already. So, that's going to be all for this for this draft. Hope you all enjoyed, and see you guys week 1 against Brandon.